Hey, welcome back, gang. If this is your first time watching Johnny's Steel Licks, we talk all things pedal steel here. If that's something you're interested in, you might consider hitting the like and subscribe button and then join us at patreon.com/pedalsteel. Today we are continuing the speed progression series with lesson 107, Mooney Progressions. If you've been following along, you'll notice that we've moved back down from the 300 level to the 100 level. So what exactly does that mean? We're going to be taking the Mooney variations from Blocking and Scales lesson 113 and turning them into standalone speed progressions. Right? So these will be solos all in themselves. And then eventually we'll go back up to the 300 level with it into Mooney Connections. And that way we'll start combining these Mooney progressions with other speed progressions, connections, and coming up with some really cool solos. So if you haven't watched Blocking and Scales lesson 113 Mooney variations, please go watch it. Even if you already know a bunch of Mooney licks, I'm going to be using all the jargon that we came up with in that video. So if you don't know what I mean by like 3-finger lazy or 2-finger direct, then you're not going to be able to follow along as well as you could. All right, so let's take it from the top. Take a look at number 1. Here we've got our 3-finger lazy variation. But we're continuing it in a 1-to-4 progression. So to do that, we've got to get to the pedals up G position, the 4. So we're going to continue the lazy, pick, drop off, pedal back in, index and middle. Now to give ourselves space for the 3 notes on the bottom, we've got to pick, drop off pedals, slide down, and slide back in. 1, 2, 3. And then back up to index and middle. And now we're at the 4-chord position. Cool. So, and then of course we can run all the different lazy variations with it. The spread, and the 2-finger. Or we could also use this same technique to go to the 5. Right, so we're already in the 5th fret, we're in the pedals up D position, A position. We're in the pedals down D position, now we've got to get to the pedals up A position. So we're going to do that same move, pick, release and slide down, and slide back in. Now we're at the 5-chord position. Cool, so there's a way of taking our lazy progression from a 1 to a 4 or a 5. Let's take a look at number 2.
For exclusive content, lesson requests, tab library, and more, visit patreon.com/pedalsteel.
Here we're doing the direct style. We're still doing a 1 to a 4. We're going to start with the spread. So we've got middle on 3 and thumb on 5. Here we're just going to continue, pick, slide, and because we only need space for 2 notes, we're just going to pick and drop off. All right, that's the big difference between lazy and direct, is we've got to create space for either 3 or 2 notes. And now let's do it to the 5-chord position. And for fun, let's do the 2-finger. And you can see once we start speeding this up, right, it starts to sound real cool. So there's some basic progressions, basic chord progressions that we can use our Mooney variations with. All right, let's take a look at number 3. Here we're back to the 3-finger lazy. We're in the pedals up G position. Now normally, right, the way we've learned it is going from the pedals up to the pedals down. Right? Here we're just going to use only the pedals up positions. Now we're going to get to the pedals up C position for the 4. So we're going to pick, drop off pedals, and we got to get all the way up to the 8th fret, where we start the progression there. Same idea here, we pick, release, and we got to get to the 10th fret. And now we're going to get to the pedals down G position. So we're going to pick, drop off, and slide at the same time. So we're going to keep that same note, then pedal in, and now we're at the G position. Now you'll notice I'm not really particular on between picking, getting that full drop off, and then sliding. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so we're not really going to worry about it. All right, and it's going to sound cool anyway. So just pick, drop off, and slide at the same time. Same here. All right, so cool. That's the 3-finger lazy, just using the pedals up positions to get through a chord progression, 1, 4, 5. And then of course we can use all our different lazy styles, right? If we wanted to do spread. All right, let's take a look at number 4. Here we're back to the direct style, and we're starting off with the 2-finger. So here we are doing from the pedals up G position, right? So that one is, right? But we're going to continue it to the 4-chord position. So we're going to pick, slide, right? And what do we do with the direct? We just pick and pedal out. And then we're starting the pedals up Mooney variation to the 5-chord. We just pick and slide and drop off pedal. And the easy part here, we've already got the A pedal down, so we just pick and slide in to our pedals down G position. All right, what would it look like with 3-finger? So, right, these are the pedals up positions, so we're just using the A pedal here. Pedals down, right, pick and pedal out. Now we're doing the pedals up, D. Here we pick, slide, and got to get the B pedal in too. All right, so there's a little direct version of a 1, 4, 5, starting from the pedals up. And then of course, the different 2-finger, spread, 3-finger will all work with it. All right, let's take a look at number 5. Here, we're essentially running a pedals down harmonized scale from C. We're starting from the So position, the 5 position, and working our way down. So for the lazy, we're going to pick, slide down and pedal out, and pedal back in. All right, we've got to get to a pedals up position now, so we got to do our move, pick, slide down and release, slide back in. Now here's another big difference. Normally this would just be a pedals up position, but for our Mooney variation, we're going to pick, slide down, and add A back in, just A, all right, because we get that same note. And then pick, drop off, pedal back in. Cool. Then of course 3-finger. So that's our basic way of getting harmonized scale movement out of the Mooney variations. If we were doing it direct now, we got our pick and slide to start, pick and pedal out. Here's really the only difference between just running a harmonized scale speed progression. We're going to do that same move, pick, add A. All right, that's the really only difference if we just ran a straight 3 and 5 progression. All right, just right there. Cool. Let's take a look at number 6 now. Here we're starting from the pedals down position, doing a 3-finger lazy and working our way up into the pedals down 4. So we're starting off index and middle, pick. We're doing that same move, how this position is normally pedals up, but for us, we're going to do the A pedal, pick, drop off, slide in. Right? Whenever we're passing by the pedals up position, we're always going to do that A thing. Right? Because this is still, even though it's 1, 2, 3, this is still, we treat this as a 1 because it's the pedals up C position. All right, now we got to get to the pedals down 4. So we're going to pick, slide, and pedal out at the same time, and then pedal in. And now we're running it from the 4-chord position. Pick, slide, pedal out, pedal back in, pick, pedal out, slide. Right, and then you can continue it all the way. Yeah. Right, if you want to keep going, pick, drop off, slide down, pedal back in. And then of course, the spread. All right. So you've got the basic idea. We can take our different Mooney variations and run them through pretty much any major chord progression we want. So from here, we are going to start looking at, we're going to move into the Mooney Connections. We're going to use them as connections to other speed progressions, say like progression 3. Actually, let's start with the Mooney variation. Into progression 3, into progression 4, into another Mooney variation. Yeah, those kind of things. All right. So again, have some fun with this, come up with different chord progressions, all right? And just, it takes some getting used to finding the space between lazy and spread, but that's essentially the key, making it fit in the tempo whenever you're going direct or lazy. All right. So have fun with that. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll check out Mooney Connections next.